this time-efficient training video, we will be covering rest pause or rest pause sets. These can take a chunk of time off your training sessions without reducing your ability to build muscle. Like the supersets and drop sets, rest pauses save time in training by reducing the rest periods compared to your normal straight sets. In this video, we're going to talk you through how to set up rest pause sets and when to use them. We'll also discuss how to combine them with drop sets. So let's get cracking. Many people perform rest pauses unintentionally. You start doing the set, you get really fatigued, you have 10 reps on your program, but you only manage 9 reps before you fail. But you realise you can actually do another 3 to 5. Absolute winner, more reps completed in total. This is essentially how rest pause works. You take a straight set to failure, rest for 20 to 30 seconds, then perform another set to failure and repeat. The idea is that 20 to 30 seconds is not enough to fully recover you from an intense set. So you may not be able to complete as many reps as you would following a full rest of 1 to 2 minutes. 20 to 30 seconds will be enough to recover some of your muscle fibers so you can get a little bit more work done. And due to the accumulation of fatigue, you will fully fatigue as many of your muscle fibers as possible in order to produce enough force to continue to complete the reps despite having less rest. It's a great way to do more total sets in less time. So if you want more training volume, i.e. more sets per muscle group per week, rest pause is a great option.
Here are some key considerations. Rest pauses are a high-intensity training method. In a similar way to drop sets, you reach a point in which your muscles are burning, your heart rate's up, your breathing rate quickens, and the reps get really slow. Expect them to be a little bit tough. Because of the fatigue, your form can break down. We'd advise you to perform rest pause sets for movements with less technical complexity or for ones you're already well practiced in. Poorly performed reps may negatively impact the stimulus and lead to less muscle growth. Choosing between drop sets and rest pause techniques often comes down to one simple question. Is it hard to change the weight? Yes or no? If it is, like unloading a barbell, then do rest pause. You should aim to take your rest pause sets close to failure to maximize the benefits. So you need to be familiar with training close to or completely to failure. For all those reasons mentioned, we wouldn't recommend these to beginners. They're a more advanced training technique. A simple way to do rest pause sets is to finish your final set, take a few breaths, and then go again. And sometimes this happens naturally with fatigue anyway. When it comes to picking exercises, the best uses for rest pause sets are with exercises in which it's harder to change a load between sets in a little time. Like taking lots of plates on or off. You could consider movements which require you to use straps as well, because by doing rest pause, you don't need to unstrap, change the weight, then restrap. That can be a little bit time consuming if you're in a time pinch. Also, movements with fiddly or time consuming setups in general, or heavy plates to lift on and off, are probably better choices for rest pauses. You're basically trying to limit the amount of faff time or setup time to get these going. One of the key differences with rest pause and drop sets is the fact that with drop sets, you need to be reducing load in between sets to get the stimulus that you want. Rest pauses avoid this because you don't have to drop the weight. So if you've got an exercise which makes it difficult to drop the weight, then rest pauses are normally a pretty good choice for those exercises. There is also a case for rest pauses being better used on accessory lifts, such as the leg press or chest supported rows, rather than the big 3 compound lifts like bench pressing, back squats, and deadlifts, as these movements are typically best performed for low reps and with a slight bias towards strength training rather than muscle building.
So let's chat about how to perform them. There are 2 main approaches to performing rest pause sets. You can either target a number of reps or a number of sets. Loads can be anywhere from 10 to 25 rep max. So from moderate to very high reps. A key target is to aim to match the number of reps in your straight sets when performing rest pause. For example, if you would normally do 3 times 10, you aim to do 30 reps in total with the same weight. Perform a straight set to failure, rest 20 to 30 seconds, perform another set with the same weight to failure again, rest 20 to 30 seconds, and keep on going until all sets or all reps are completed. Each week, you can overload rest pause methods by increasing the load you lift for the set amount of reps, or by increasing the number of reps you do over the number of sets you target. Or alternatively, you can just use rest pauses at the end of your traditional sets and just use them as an add-on, a bit of extra.
Let's consider some general tips. Rest pause can be used as a sole method, i.e. you set it up so that you do a set number of reps or a set number of sets, and you stay on that exercise until you complete all those. Or you can just perform them as an add-on to your traditional sets in a similar way that you can perform add-ons like drop sets. The add-on approach may be the best option for most people. So you're using regular sets, then you use rest pause to save time on the rest of your sets. For example, instead of doing 5 sets of an exercise, you may choose to do 3 sets and then do 2 to 3 rest pause sets to cover the rest of the volume. Heavier sets, i.e. 5 rep sets, can make rest pauses a bit impractical. Your performance drops too quickly between sets without longer recovery. Instead, one of the best uses of rest pause is when you're doing moderate to heavy sets. So it doesn't necessarily have to be for high rep sets. In standalone rest pause methods, these typically start off with a high rep set, and you would aim to get at least half of your reps done in total in the first set that you do. Then with each rest pause set to follow, you're performing less reps. But if you are using rest pauses as an add-on, or you're going to do it for a total number of sets, you may find that doing some moderate rep ranges, i.e. 8 to 12 reps, would be very effective for you to be able to get a really good stimulus without feeling like it's a cardio workout. So early on we mentioned about how you can combine rest pause sets with drop sets. This is a little bit more advanced. And one of the best uses of rest pause is if you already know how drop sets work. So if you haven't checked out the drop sets video, watch that before this segment. With drop sets, you reduce the load after a straight set. And sometimes when you're doing this, you accidentally drop the weight too far. This means that you end up below 50% of your 1 rep max, or you do a very high number of reps during a set. This can either take you too long to get the set done, so it doesn't end up saving you that much time, or it creates more of an aerobic challenge than a muscular one. So if you do drop too far, dropping again might not be the best option. If you've just finished a 14 or 15 rep drop set, then dropping it further would mean that chances are you're probably going to end up doing another very high rep set. In this circumstance, you can just do a rest pause instead of dropping again. Another great way to combine rest pauses is by doing the rest drop method. So you would begin with your strength set, then you do a rest pause. When you can't do any more reps using rest pause, you drop the weight and do a drop set. Then, after your drop set, you do a rest pause again before you lower the weight again. This strategy could be useful on equipment like plate-loaded machines or even using dumbbells, so you don't have as many changes in between the sets. This is pretty advanced, so we'd recommend using both methods first on their own before combining them. That way you can judge where they are most effective for you, and you know what to expect from combining both of these methods together.
Rest pause is a great way to save time, allowing you to complete more volume in less time, or add more to each session because you save time whilst using these methods. And this concludes the time efficient training series. We've covered supersets, drop sets, and rest pause. Supersets is where you pair 2 exercises together. Drop sets is where you have less rest and drop the weight down for each set. You've got rest pauses, which we've just discussed, which is less rest, the same weight, but you end up doing less reps overall. All of these methods require some level of aerobic fitness and they are taxing, but they will allow you to build more muscle in less time. If you have any questions at all, pop us a message directly, or if you are a member, of course, just pop a message in the SKD group chat.